So the trick is actually getting out there and doing it, and then not only doing it, but consistently doing it. Because like what Steven's saying, it's not gonna be a quick turnaround. You might get those lucky ones like we got in Eastlake, where it was like, oh yeah, come list my house like literally that same week. And I was like, hey, I was on vacation in Cabo when it happened. And I was like, wait, let me get home and take photos. She's like, no, it needs to go live right now. I'm like, fuck, all right, well.
People are freaking out and they want to sell right now.
Dude, I was like, oh my God. Like I've never had to tell Sarah, hold on, let's wait till I'm back. She's like, no, it needs to drop Thursday. I'm like, fuck, all right. So we did over the weekend, got into escrow. But yeah, so it's being consistent. And I feel like if you're gonna do door knocking or commit to any prospecting activity, right, whether it be cold calling, door knocking, social media farming, which is, I know a lot of people are big on it right now. And I think because there's not a lot of intimidation with it. Social media marketing, just pick a time frame of 90 days, because anything you do for those 90 days is gonna reflect in another 90 days, right? So if you're gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna door knock 100 doors a week, right? Consistently knock 100 doors a week. Don't just do it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then stop, right? I'm guilty of it, I've done it, where I'm like, oh yeah, we're super door knock heavy, and then we're not, right? So it's being committed to the activity and don't be attached to the results, right? So don't look for that instant gratification. Don't be too attached to the result. Just be committed and in love with that process, right? The bullshit. Especially over here, I know it gets hot as shit. So, yeah, so I mean, if you're out there, he was out there, so can I highlight you, dude? Or? So Jiraiya started his own thing, and he's like, Blake, I have an idea. I want to try it out and see how it works. I'm like, okay, well, what is it? He's like, it's door knocking, but on a different level. Oh, okay, bro. Lay it on me. Well, what is it, bro? What is it? I'm gonna paint their curbs. The numbers, bro. Right? So he's like, I'm gonna paint the curbs and write the numbers, and I'm gonna do, because he's if you guys don't know, this is Jiraiya up here. He's one of my top dudes. Military, just got the Navy. And he wants to call it Operation Curb Appeal. Right? So he's going out. Operation Curb Appeal, we have flyers set up. He has his own QR codes, and we made it happen. He's like, I want to do it. We printed all these flyers up. Let me see. Do you have a picture of it? Yeah. Pull it up. So he's like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm like, all right, dude. That's great. But the thing is that you're not going to have as many. It's going to take you longer to knock and paint than if you're just, right? So I'm like, dude, your amount of numbers is going to go down, right? But his idea is that I'm going to have more quality conversations with these people, right? Because I'm giving back. Right, and the whole idea behind Operation Curb Appeal is sick. Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the new one? Oh, this is another new one he got.
I have like 4.
So for everybody on Zoom, not just your typical realtor Operation Curb Appeal. So this is not just to make it look pretty, guys. It's actually for first responders. So like if there's issues in the neighborhood, it shows them how to get to the houses. And what else did you put in there?
DoorDash.
Oh yeah, he threw like some funny shit in there too. He's like, it's for first responders to find your house in case of an emergency. Also, you want to make sure your DoorDash gets there on time and there's no issues, right? And then now he's painting out. And how many people have you thrown into HomeBot so far?
I think like 10 out of the 30 I did.
So his conversion's a little bit higher, and he's having great conversations, and people are actually interacting with him, wanting, and I think they're asking you to put them into the CRM for them. Like, here, please put me in there. Right, and one lady they want to pay you?
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, I don't.
Want to pay me.
Yeah, he's like, nah, dude, I'm just a realtor. I'm just trying to do this. Right, so he's having these bigger impacts, and he's consistently doing it. It was 100 degrees in Lakeside, and he's painting curbs. I could never. One, I'm too white. I'll get burnt. He's white too, but I prefer to stay, a mild pink is what I prefer, So, but that's his thing, right? He wants to be that realtor, he wants to do that, and he's consistently doing it, and he's gonna get the results from his labor very soon. But I told him, I was like, if you're gonna do it, just don't give up on it, right? Don't just stop, right? And he hasn't. So if you're gonna do any kind of activity, just make sure you consistently do it, getting a game plan. So failing to plan is planning to fail. So I'm not saying go out and commit to, 500 doors a week, but say, look, I'll do 10 doors a week or 10 doors a day, right? On your way back to your house, you know what? Every single day I'm gonna knock on 10 doors on the way back home. Pick a neighborhood at the farm. The idea is you want to be consistently in that area or consistently calling or consistently doing the social media, right? Other than that, that was my TED Talk. I know I talk a lot. It's right on time, perfect, 3:15. I wasn't looking, I swear. But other than that, that's all I got for y'all. If you have any questions or if you would like the Zoom link to our scripts practice, more than happy to have you guys on there. It's active role play. So today was a lot of me talking. I don't like to talk this much, I swear.
We're gonna have to role play after this.
Oh, we're gonna role play?
Yeah.
All right, let's do some role play. Let's do it. Yeah, no, we can role play. I'm just trying to get out door knocking. But yeah, no.
Let's
So
do one quick role play so we can actually see like.
who wants to do it? Who's the lucky one? No, not Jariah. Jariah doesn't count. He gets it every day.
Lorenzo?
So first,
Okay, so
walk up, smile. Oh, I love the plants. I love this thing. Okay,
yeah, who is this?
yes. How you doing? My name's Blake. I'm with Nest Realty. My name's Blake. I'm with Nest Realty. I was actually knocking on your door. I sold your neighbor's house right down the street on 123 Main Street.
Okay.
Yeah, the reason I'm knocking on your door is we actually just sold that one for $600K. Did you know homes were selling for that much in the area?
I mean, just from what I know on Zillow, but I'm not looking to sell right now.
No, exactly. And that's actually why we're knocking on your door is because we just wanted to congratulate you and let you know that homes are selling for that much in the area. Just curious though, how long have you been in the area?
I've lived here my whole life. My mom bought this house, and then I moved in after she passed away.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that. And it sounds like you really like the area. What do you like about the area? Everybody wants to live here for some reason.
I mean, this is all I've ever known. That's why I'm not selling.
Gotcha. No, I totally understand.
I'll probably die in this house.
No, I got you, man. Hey, and that's great. It sounds like you're in your forever home. Now, just curious, if you could move anywhere else in the world, in a perfect world, would you stay here or would you go somewhere else if you could?
I mean, in a perfect world, I'd probably, I don't know, move over to Georgia with my cousin.
Okay, nice. So Georgia to be with to be with your cousin. Okay, awesome, man.
This gets deep.
Is there any other thing that would take you out to Georgia besides having some family out there?
I mean, just the money I would make from the sale if I ever did, but I'm not looking to sell.
Gotcha. No, I totally understand, man. And you said you were keeping up with the home's value on Zillow, right?
Yeah, I'm retired. I mean, I hop on Zillow and Redfin every once in a while, so I keep up with it.
Yeah.
Interest rates are doing their thing, so.
Yeah, no, interest rates, everybody's having a tough time with those. And you said this was your mom's house before you took it over, right?
Oh yeah, she bought it back in the 60s.
Oh, nice. So this house probably paid or close to paid. Now just,
Yeah, she paid it off a long time ago.
there you go.
Lived
And
it for free.
what was his name again? I forget. Lorenzo. I was gonna call you. I keep thinking you're Neil, dude. He looks like a Neil. Anyways, no, totally understand, Lorenzo. Now, just curious, if your home hit $1 million, would you entertain an offer at that price?
I mean, this house is never going to hit $1 million. You know that.
And if it did, would you want to know about it?
If it did, then yeah, sure.
Awesome. Hey, and that's actually why we're knocking on the door. As a courtesy, we're actually giving out this free home calculator. It's like a Zillow or Redfin, except it gives you accurate information. So if it does hit $1 million, you know about it.
So is Zillow and Redfin not accurate?
Actually, they're known not to be the most accurate. I mean, their information's good. There's nothing wrong with Zillow or Redfin, right? Now, if you were able to, if you knew you were leaving money on the table, would you want to?
The neighbor's house said it was worth $595 and it sold for $600.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty accurate.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. $595. What if he sold it for $595 and he left $5,000 on the table? How do you think that would make him feel?
And I'm sure he got it for much cheaper, just like my mom did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think that $5,000 really matters.
No, totally understand. But what if it was more? What if it was $50,000 he left?
I mean, yeah, that'd make a difference for sure.
And that's exactly why we give this out to our people to make sure they don't leave any money on the table. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
What would be a good email? I would just set you up, put you on the home calculator, and send you. Don't worry, it's not going to blow you up. It's just every once in a while I'll send you an update when there's important stuff to know.
sure, 23 at Gmail.
Okay, perfect. And your name again?
Lorenzo.
Blake.
Hi, Blake.
Nice to meet you. We'll be around the neighborhood. If you see all the Nest people here, say hello. We're friendly and we want to give back to the community, all right? So if you know anybody that's looking to move into the area, because typically when homes do pop up, there's usually 4 other ones that pop up right after. So if you know anybody that's looking to move in that's not in their forever home, send them our way. Sound fair?
All right, sounds good, Blake. Thank
Awesome, Lorenzo. You have a great day.
you. Cool.
You know that birthday boy shirt might actually help you.
Some birthday.
All right.
That you were able to continue moving forward with all the objections?
Oh, yeah.
Because he was super difficult.
Oh, yeah.
You just kept on going, moving forward with it.
Hmm?
Even when he was like 100%, like money doesn't even matter. I don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
You were like, all right, well, still, I'm gonna get you signed up. Like
Yeah.
that was the end of it.
You just gotta be bold. You just gotta be bold and fuck it. I mean, if he slams the door in my face, fuck it. I go to the next door. Who cares?
Sometimes when we're cold calling, we'll get people that'll say,
Go over
yeah,
here.
for $1 million.
Mhm.
And then it's like, okay, so what if someone did pay that $1 million? And it's like, nah, man, I'm just yanking your chain. That's not gonna happen. But
Or
thanks anyway. And then they
Sometimes
hang
they'll
up.
say you have to drag my dead body out of this house before I sell it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
So I always like to say that it sounds like you're in your forever home, which is awesome, you know, because most people don't have the chance to actually get to their forever home, right? Like that's actually something that people want to do. They're like, oh, this is my forever home. And how often do people move in America? The average family, is it 4 times a year?
Every 7 years.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 times in their lifetime they'll move, right? For somebody to be like, this is my forever home forever, that's great, dude. Like, congratulate them. Hey, that's awesome, right? Our job is to educate, and maybe they don't want to move necessarily, but hey, if the house is paid off, that means he probably has some equity that he can play around with. Well, hey, look, I know this home's paid off. It sounds like you're in your forever home. We also do a lot of investing around the area. If we're able to cash flow you, $2, 3, 4, 5 grand a month, would you want to know about those opportunities?
What do you recommend for the tenants? Because I mean, around here,
Mm-hmm.
given the demographic, a lot of people are renters. So what do you recommend when we bump into something like that?
Wait. Before you go into that
Mm-hmm.
topic, the investor thing is way more important to these guys, and that's gonna always be a way better conversation
Mm-hmm.
to direct to if they start giving you.
Yeah, if they start just fighting you so much, you could just go to, I mean, it doesn't have to be so one-sided like, oh, just the listing or oh, just the home bot. For this sake, I wanted to grab the email. So my value prop is I want to get you on HomeBot because I need to get the email, right? But if the conversation is going south and it's just not going good, throw it into the investor route. Hey, you know what? Totally understand. You're in your dream home. Congrats. A lot of people can't say that they are.
Yeah.
Right? Now, with you having this house paid off thanks to your mom's efforts and hard work, would you be opposed to maybe looking into some investment properties that can make you money?
Yeah.
Right? Because this home's paid off, but if I can help you make money, let's say 5, 6 grand a month, like we've done for other clients, would you want to know about those?
Yeah. The first thing that came
Yeah.
to my head when he said that his mom passed away and he inherited the house was generational wealth.
Yep.
So immediately that's where I would have taken the direction. I would have been like, oh, congratulations, like you've been able to get some generational wealth going for your family.
Exactly.
That's an amazing opportunity.
Mhm.
And then I would definitely, if he kept on saying no, 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 I would have been like, hey, well, listen, you started this generational wealth. I know that that's very important. If you have like kids or anything like that, we got to keep this train rolling. with
Exactly.
investment properties.
Exactly.
So stay in your home. We're gonna pull out your equity, and we're gonna start hitting that
Perfect.
piece. And now you've tugged on their heartstrings a little bit. Like they definitely, most likely, have some kids or
Yep.
family members. So
Yep.
it's a good direction.
You want to just build a relationship. It doesn't necessarily have to be one-sided all the time. And if you can do that generational wealth, build the relationship, or go the investor route, or go the refinance, cash out refinance, and do this or X, Y, and Z. Give some facts. Hey, we've helped families get 5, 6 grand a month, through investment properties, and they're using the homes that they've inherited to do so, right? Like they're just taking the blessings that they got in order to make more blessings for their families, right? Would that be something you'd be interested in? No, I hate my family. Okay, well, you're a dick anyways. I don't want to work with you anyway.
Then
Like,
make more money for yourself and go buy a Jaguar.
yeah,
You can buy whatever you want.
whatever. Anyways, but the idea is you never want to go one-sided. You want to be as open as you possibly can because you might run into those people and go that route, and you don't want to be combative, right? You definitely want to stay away from combative fighting, right? If you want to prove a point, okay, 5 grand, not a big deal. If it was 50 grand, would that be a big deal? Well, yeah.
I also liked
Yeah.
what you did in regards to the email, and I was like, and then you said, well, I'm not trying to blow you up or put you on any kind of list. It's just for my knowledge. That was good because a lot of people feel like you're some kind of
Oh, yeah.
bastard or some random.
Yeah, and it's cool if you have a sale because you are familiar. You're like, I helped out so and so. I don't know what was the client's name.
Ooh, Carlos Clients. I can't remember. Carlos Clients.
Carlos Clients, Mr. and Mrs. Carlos Clients, right down the street, right. And as a courtesy, we're just giving the neighbors this free tool so they can make sure they're staying up to date.
I usually say like it's a free service we provide to the community.
Yeah, whatever, something along those lines, right? Whether it's a free service.
It's not salesy,
Yeah.
And then there's a huge objection handler for that Zillow thing that he said, which is when you said, oh, like they sent for 595 and then it sold for 600,000, so it should be pretty close.
Yeah.
And then you'd say like I'd say Zillow's pretty close, but you could actually say, well, did you hear about what happened recently?
The lawsuit?
Say, no. And then you're gonna be like, Zillow lost $880 million on Zillow offers, proving that their valuations are completely off. They lost nearly $1 billion. So actually, no, Zillow offers isn't always on target. And
Yep.
Like if they're willing to, if they lost $1 billion, it's probably not very reliable.
Yeah, exactly,
And
right?
they just released that like a couple months ago, so it's very
Re-
relevant. to
New,
bring up.
new information, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you could provide facts, that's always the best way to do it. And if you can keep it real time, that's even better. Like when he said that Zillow said 595 and it sold for 600, I'm like, okay, well that sounded like that could have been $5,000 lost, right? If you would have,
Say like Zillow doesn't know if you have pool. Zillow doesn't
yeah, they never seen the house. How would they know, right? They're just making off an estimation. Like you've probably done upgrades, all these other things, right? So there's a million different ways to skin the cat, really.
And then what about the realtor question or the tenant question?
Okay, so if you are dealing with somebody who's actually a tenant, easiest way that I could go through it, I mean, obviously you'd still, how long you've been in the area, what you like about the area. If you could live anywhere else, where'd you go if you could? No, stay local, got it. Just curious, how much are you paying for in rent? I always like to ask if it's not too, we gotta fill the conversation out, but if it's not abrasive, like, hey, if you don't mind me asking, like how much are you paying for rent? This is a really nice house, right? If it's an abrasive question, compliment right after. If you don't mind me asking, you're a really smart guy. But why the fuck did you do that? Right? It kind of softens the blow. Hey, if you don't mind me asking, this is a really nice house. How much do you pay for rent? Oh, I pay $3,500, or I pay $3,000, or I pay this much. Okay, well, hey, with that much, it would be a mortgage. Have you ever thought about being a homeowner before?
We should get what the mortgage would be on this, and then just say, well, this house.
What is this? Is that the one we're doing today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we should get like the payment on a $600,000 house and say, well, this is how much they're paying for the mortgage.
Where's the LO at?
You're supposed to be here. I don't know what happened.
It's okay, my LO is supposed to be here too. He's not here. LOs. It's okay, we'll blame him.
You also said don't, if I caught him correctly, not to give the price out directly. Let's say when we were right there on the role play, and I would have been like, yeah, sure, I'm looking to sell. How much is it worth?
So if they're just like, give me the information.
Yeah.
Right, so typically, I mean, if you do get that, that'd be awesome. But I usually say, okay, well, I would love to give you some more information. First things first, I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. Last thing I want to do is shoot myself in the foot, right? We would have to see the property and actually do what's called a home valuation of it, so I can give you accurate information. When would be a good time for me to actually stop by and do that? Right, mornings or afternoons?
So you're knocking on my door without knowing what it's worth?
Well, hey, I can give you a rough numbers right now. Do you want me to give you generic information or specific information catered to you?
Okay. Yeah, specific.
I agree with you, right? So when would be a good time for me to come by? Would mornings or afternoons work better for you? Right, and again, that's a double bind when you give them those two different things where one's clearly a no and the other one's like, duh, obviously I want specific, right? If you can master those things, it makes it a lot more easy. It's like, dude, I can tell you it's $1 million, but if I comp it out and it ends up being 800,000, how does that make me look, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you can appreciate me not shooting from the hip and want to give you accurate information, right? Yeah, cool. Makes sense?
For exactly what you're inviting them to,
Mm-hmm.
what we're calling that within the team is a home equity review.
Home equity review.
Yeah, so
Beautiful.
like if you want more details, if you want to get more than just what the robot's telling you or what an algorithm's telling you, what I like to do is a home equity review, and we're gonna sit down for 15 minutes and go through all this, all the nitty gritty of everything.
I like that. Home equity review.
Yeah,
I like that.
and then for the buyers, if they're renting, then I'm gonna say, okay, well then, have you ever considered doing a quick 15-minute buyer consultation where we can see everything
Yeah.
and see if it's possible?
Yeah, I like doing that, especially with renters. I mean, if I can get, sometimes the consultation throws people off, I find, like, at least with buyers, sometimes they're like I don't want to be sold or, So I would always like to say something along the lines of, hey, if I can get you into a house for the same monthly payment and roughly around the same kind of house, would you want to know about it? Yes, great. What works better for you, mornings or afternoons? And then it's more making it about getting them into the same house, same monthly payment than it is a consult, because the consult can be like a turnoff. At least in my experience, I know. Anytime I say, oh, let's have a consultation or a listing appointment, they're like,
If feels salesy.
Yeah, but if I say like if I set the listing appointment like, hey, when would be a good time so we can talk about the numbers and crunch the house and figure out what we can get you for the property versus hey, when would be a good time so we can meet up and discuss the options of getting you to Georgia with your family and with the job opportunity. Which one seems more appealing? The ones crunching numbers or the ones about the motivation?
Motivation always.
I always like to set appointments around the motivation or at least have some emotional because logic make you think, emotion will make you act. Right? And if you can get somebody to emotionally set an appointment with you, once you're at the appointment, you can use the logic to end up closing them, right? Great points, yes.
So one thing that I found is that we practiced all the oppositions all the time, and we were absolutely not prepared for when
It says yes.
was like, oh yeah, please.
Yeah,
And so if you could demonstrate what it would, demonstrate what it would look like in one fluid swing, that'd be cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's a good point. We always do practice the no, objection, and then they're like, okay, yeah, I do want that. And you're just like, you do? Really? Oh, fuck, well, I didn't practice that part. So I guess what part are you asking? Like, so when they say, yeah, I do want you to come list my house?
So let's say you go to the door. It's like, oh yeah, I've actually been thinking of selling. I saw that house sold for $600. You want to come in and look at it?
Like right now?
Like, come on in.
So great. I don't come in first time.
Okay.
Right? Here's why. One, I'm not prepared. Right? So I haven't done comps on it. I'm gonna be on the fly. Especially for newer agents that are not so familiar and they need to get a second opinion on comping things out, you are not in that position to just go on the fly. I mean, maybe if Steven did it, he could probably just be like, all right, fuck it, like, let's do this right now. But that's a different status level, right, obviously. So I always say, hey, I would love to stop by, right? When would be a good time for me to stop by and actually come by and look, right? Because I want to make sure I'm giving you the most accurate information, and I want to pull up all the info so when we're discussing this, when you're about to sell a home, do you want to have all the information in front of you or just some of the information in front of you?
All of it.
Double bind. All the I agree with you.
Okay.
So when would be a good time for us to meet up? Mornings or afternoons, right? And then you try and set it up for another time. Go back, do your comps, do your research, figure out if there's liens on the property, do everything. So when you walk in there, you look like a rock star. Plus, if you're knocking on doors and they get you in, you're all sweaty. Hopefully you didn't forget to put your deodorant on, but you might not be smelling the greatest or the most fresh. Right? And you say, hey, look, I would love to come and do it right now. However, my team and I, we have a commitment. We're trying to help as many people as we can. When would be a good time so I can get you the specific information to you? And so that way I'm not shooting from the hip and I'm giving you all the information.
And then just maybe ask for any upgrades so then you can compare that.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't do it there on the fly, personally. Right? I mean, different strokes, different folks, but I always like to make sure I'm giving them.
Especially without a laptop.
Yeah, no, I just wouldn't, dude. I wouldn't because one, you don't know if all the decision makers are present. Because it might just be somebody that's like, oh, and then you did all this information, you're trying to close them and try and sell them, and I gotta talk to my wife, she's not here. Now they got the objection right there. So it won't be a good time. So is it just you that owns the property? Who else is involved? Who's a decision maker? Great. When's a great time for both of you guys so we can have all the information at once? Right, mornings or afternoons, and you want to set it up. Again, you want to be in control. You're the professional, you're the expert, right? So you control how the encounter is going to be, right? So you want to set it up to where you're interviewing them, they're not interviewing you, right? Because some people, at least newer agents, will get that feeling of, oh, like, I got to please them or I got to do what they want, and it's a bad misconception, right? You're interviewing them to see if they qualify for you to help them. Right, you want to qualify them for your help. You don't want to put all this time in. You do an hour touring the property, listening to some boring conversation about their dog Chippy that loved running away and getting with the cats. I don't know. Like you're just sitting there. I've done it personally where I just sit there. Yes, Jiraiya.
The thing that you pointed out to me, I was messing up on because this has happened to me a few times.
What's up?
And so when we get you above asking the next 30 days, maybe we're ready to jump on it.
Oh.
Because when you do that, it creates because I had that listing appointment that they were like, I'm actually not even looking to move for another year and a half. And then
Yes.
oh, I just wasted all this time. So that question will figure out where they're actually
Yep.
they're at right now.
Perfect. Yeah. So what Jiraiya is saying for the people that are on Zoom, he said a pre-qualifying question that if they say yes to Lorenzo's point, like I do want to sell my house, set it up, set the appointment, and then ask, hey, if I got you an offer that just blew your mind, like it was just the perfect offer within the next 30 days, would that be an issue for you? Right? Because now you're getting that timeline solidified, right? Like, oh, well, maybe not 30 days, maybe after, August, or maybe after the holidays, or maybe next year. Then there's no point for you to meet right then and there. You can push it back a little bit, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That pre-qualifying question?
So I mean, for the most part, it's very similar to the cold calling script, just kind of more flamboyancy.
Yep. It just takes into account more body language, more tonality. I mean, if you're good at cold calling, door knocking is going to be, it's just incorporating your body into it. That's it. How you stand, like, hey, Redfin and Zillow are not bad, putting your hands up, right, like that. If you're explaining and using your hands on, like, hey, this is how we're going to make points and stuff like that, all that's going to get incorporated into it. But if you're good at cold calling, your words are going to be good. Now it's just getting everything else to go with it, right?